Hi, it's Robin Sharma. Hope you are amazing. I think you are going to really find this video valuable if you are interested in exponential gains to your creativity, productivity, prosperity, and impact. It's not a very long video and it's not a very short video. Hopefully it'll give you some robust value that will help you not only in your professional life but in your personal life. Because as you may have heard me say before, success without soulfulness is a very empty victory. And what I try to do very much in my work is help you produce your empires of creativity and prosperity and service to your marketplace, and at the same time handcraft a world-class life for you and your loved ones while you savor the journey of life and while you have a positive elevation to the world. There's a term I've been teaching called JPF. Really what we're not looking for in our business lives and our personal lives is more money and more things and bigger houses and more applause. Really, JPF is joy, peace, and freedom. That's the ultimate state that we're seeking. And often we get confused and we think, oh, I need to be like a rat on a treadmill, seeking more things and more money, more acclaim, more fame, more likes. And really that becomes a habit and then often becomes an addiction born of that neurochemical known as dopamine. Anyway, I wanted to offer you 6 insights for special performance. I'll be teaching a lot of this at the Titan Summit this year, and we're hand-picking our faculty at this moment right now, and I'll simply say this will be the best Titan Summit in the history of the Titan Summit. If you don't know what the Titan Summit is, you can look at the information below after you've finished consuming and studying this training video. But the Titan Summit is my world-famous 4-day live event, and it's an experience like very few in the world. We have had Richard Branson on my faculty for the Titan Summit. We've had Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple. We've had Deepak Chopra, leadership expert, John Maxwell. We've had the astronaut Chris Hadfield. We've had so many remarkable people and many of the best thinkers in the world, not only on business, but on philosophy and on hacking longevity and making history. Anyway, let me get into 6 of the advanced lessons for special performance. So the first is pursue granularity versus specificity. If you look at most performers, they are very vague in their approach. They haven't really calibrated their game. They haven't dialed in their morning, afternoon, and nightly rituals. They don't have a series of mentors around them. They haven't taken the time to write in a journal and game chart what is it they do when they are at their best. They haven't thought through what is it that has happened when they're at their worst. They haven't read the books that will allow them to achieve domain dominance. And so if you look at a Federer, or if you look at a Beyonce, or if you look at a Shakespeare, or if you look at an Elon Musk, or if you look at a Steve Jobs, or if you look at a Vincent van Gogh, or if you look at any great artist, whether it's a business artist or a philosophical artist, these people have made the time to think deeply. I was just listening to a profound interview with Warren Buffett and Charlie Rose, and Warren Buffett said, he reads for 8 hours a day. I mean, one of the things about special performers, they are not generalists, they are specialists, and they're very much about granularity. They know an enormous amount about 1 or 2 things, and they go very deep versus very wide. I'm here on my refueling break, and I went into the gym, and they had these exercise mats, and they had taken the time to clean these exercise mats, and then they had these little pieces of paper around them that said these exercise mats have been sanitized. That's a very simple example of granularity. If you look at a great hotel or a great restaurant, it's the smallest of details that have been calibrated. For example, 11 Madison Park in New York City. When they take the time before the service starts, before the clients are in the room, they take the time to take the plate and they look at the 11 Madison symbol and they put it down in a certain rotation where the client will be sitting, even though the client will not be able to see that symbol because it's at the bottom of the plate. And the co-owner was asked, why do you do that? And he said, because it sets an intention for excellence before the people walk in the door. That's an example of granularity. If you look at any great athlete, the food they eat before the game, their rituals, the way they lace up their skates if they're a hockey player, granularity. If you look at any remarkable business person, I've coached so many billionaires for over 22 years, and they have a depth of insight, such specificity, such granularity about their marketplace and the opportunities and the way they roll and how to build a great team and how to construct a glorious enterprise. And then you look at members of the majority, and it's not a judgment, just a reporting, but there's not a lot of attention to, not a lot of depth of insight, and not a lot of specificity. It's very vague, and that's coming from a place, and this isn't the time for me to share it in this training video, I'll share it at the Titan Summit, but that's coming from a place of contraction. You see, when they were children, they stood in the awe and wonder of their original glory, and then the world starts shutting them down, and they stop believing, and they stop performing, and they stop releasing their magic into the world, and they became ordinary, and now they really don't have the fire in the belly to pursue granularity versus superficiality, and they just get stuck into superficial thinking, stuck into superficial performance, stuck into superficial lives, stuck into superficial pursuits. Anyway, the second advanced lesson for special performance is make psychic glory your game. Well, you know, most people's game is they go out into the world, the business world, let's say, and it's the pursuit of money, and it's the pursuit of, you know, applause. And what I'm suggesting to you, if you really want to be a special performer, play a completely different game, which is all about psychic glory. And what is psychic glory? You're saying, Robin, please share this fascinating new term. Well, psychic glory is really the joy and wonder that you feel when your head hits the pillow every night and you know you have delivered magic into the marketplace. You know you have played in rare air. You know you have delivered massive value to your customers. You know you are fully spent because you have released your gifts and talents out into the world. And so one thing I really try to focus on, it's much less about economic success and it's much less about fame and fortune. And what I try to do is not only calibrate my craft so I get better and better as the years roll by, but I very much want to feel a sense of psychic glory that I've used my day or I've used my week in hot pursuit in the elevation of my brothers and sisters on this tiny planet. I think ultimately, you know, to lead is to serve, and the real game of the heroes is contribution and dramatic impact. 3, if you want to be a special performer, not an average performer, block out the haters. At the Titan Summit this year, I'm going to walk you through an advanced model that has been profoundly valuable to the billionaires that I coach and mentor and my elite mastermind Icon X, and it's called the Troll Deconstruction. The Troll Deconstruction, and at this Titan Summit this year, I'm actually going to deconstruct in intimate detail a framework that will help you literally never be knocked down by critics, naysayers, dream stealers, and haters ever again if you run it. And then, of course, practice this framework to the point of default, where it becomes your default. You know, when I work with the billionaires, one thing I find very interesting is they have this magnificent obsession, and then they have architected such a strength within them that when people laugh at them or mock them or even attack them or throw rocks at them, they take the rocks that their critics throw at them and they build them into monuments of mastery for the benefit of humanity. They have literally battle-proofed their faith and fidelity to their mighty ambition. And so when people say, oh, you're foolish, or that won't work, or they criticize them or attack them, or, you know, jealous critics try to knock them down, they've built this core where it doesn't bother them. What would that be worth to you? So let me just talk a little bit about how you block out the haters. The first thing you do is you become so faithful to your mighty mission that you'd be willing to take a bullet for it. And you can do that through prayer. You can do that through visualization every morning while the rest of the work is asleep. You can do that by meditation, which is very, very powerful. You can do that by reading the books of other titans and heroes every morning, so that, because reading a book is meditating with the hero that you're reading about. Reading a book is having a conversation with that author. And the more you can read the books of the great women and men of the world, the more their mindsets, heart sets, ideas will infuse your consciousness and infuse your emotionality, so you walk out in the world much stronger. So, second thing to remember about haters is, when you produce glorious work and you release your magic into the world, it's a highly disruptive act in a world governed by mediocrity. And so you're going to threaten you're going to threaten the status quo. J.K. Rowling said it well: for some to love you, some must loathe you. The very nature of magical work, brilliant work, world-class work means you are going to threaten the people who are not ready for it. And so for people who are strong, they're going to encourage you and say, wow, wonderful. And for people who are weak and threatened by and terrified by your art, they are going to throw stones at you. So for some to love you, some must loathe you, said J.K. Rowling. Bob Dylan said, don't criticize what you don't understand. If your work is so advanced for the marketplace and it's so disruptive for your field, most people are not going to understand it. Just like they don't understand didn't understand trying to put a man on the moon. Just like they didn't understand the germ theory. Just like they didn't understand the internet. Just like they didn't understand, how the great athletes could do what they do. I mean, any possibilitarian is misunderstood before they are revered. And so you want to block out your haters. Another part of the troll deconstruction is, you're getting really good when people start to hate you. They don't hate on number 2 or number 10 or mediocrity. They hate on the masters, because one of the traits of many human beings is jealousy. Okay, so once you start to know the troll deconstruction, then with better awareness, you can make better choices. And with better choices, you can make better results. Number 4, fourth idea, or the fourth advanced insight for special performances: hunt for heretical ideas. Don't go for ideas that everyone's thinking. Go for the heretical ideas that make you an outcast. Bring on new, fresh value to your marketplace that has never been seen before, and that's how you become industry dominant, right? You literally want to bring on ideas that are so terrifyingly original that, first of all, they disrupt and scare people, and then when people start to embrace them, they say, wow, that's really original. Because the marketplace pays for originality. If you look at the best paid people in the world, you look at the most respected people in the world, you look at the most appreciated people in the world, these are people who are originals. They're not clones, they're not copiers, they are true originals. And originality comes from experience. Originality comes from shifting from being an apprentice to being the master, and that comes over time. And it takes a lot of work. It takes playing the long game. It takes a lot hard blue-collar labor and study of your craft and your industry. And with time and practice, I promise you, you will get there. But the point really here on point number 4 is go for heretical ideas that are just scary great. Number 5, out-train your industry peers. I mean, you cannot put a price tag on the value of training and practice. Very, very powerful. Make the time every day. I call it the 60-minute student. It's one of the rituals that I teach at the Titan Summit. Make the time for 60 minutes to just sit there and read. And I love old school books, and then maybe while you're driving you can listen to audiobooks as well, or podcasts, but make the time to read. Make notations on your pages. After you've got a particularly interesting paragraph in a book, take a picture of it, print it out, put it in your journal, then deconstruct it, write about it, go deep, go granular versus a superficial understanding of that particular insight. But out-train your industry peers. Know more about what you do than anyone who has ever done what you do in the history of the world. Play at that standard. It's exciting, it's fulfilling, it gives you that psychic glory, and then it gives you a whole host of external rewards that come from being the best in the world at what you do. And then finally, practice the 2x, 3x mindset, which is to double your income and your impact. triple your investment in 2 core areas, your personal mastery and your professional capability. I'll repeat that again because it's profound. It is so extraordinarily valuable, and this really, really works. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sharing it with you. The 2x, 3x mindset: to double your income and your impact, triple your investment in 2 core areas, your personal mastery and your professional capability. Why would you triple your investment in your personal mastery? Because your income is never going to rise any higher than who you are on the inside. You probably know my 4 interior empires. That is the gateway to world class. Learning the 4 interior empires of mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set, and then what I call the tacticology around optimizing your mindset, purifying your heart set, my new AFRA tool, which is disrupting the marketplace. You're going to learn that at the Titan Summit this year, which is all about how do you release past guilt and shame and sadness and anger, and how do you actually become much more intimate with joy, wonder, awe, curiosity. That's just the mind, that's just the heart set piece. And you're going to learn about health set, and you're going to learn about soul set. And then it's not just the 4 interior empires for personal mastery. It's your morning routine, your nightly ritual. It's all the other routines that I teach from the stage that will be transformational. And then along with that is increasing your professional capability. And that's learning, how the pros roll. That's learning how the billionaires do it. What are their systems? What are their codes? What are their mindsets? How do they build great teams? What are their operating systems? How do they bring on value into their marketplace? What I've learned working with the best of the best in the world for over 2 decades is it's really not that hard. They just do different things, and you really need to know what they do, because otherwise you're at a dramatic disadvantage, because you're working really hard and you can be thinking you're doing the right things, and yet what I've realized is it's not about how hard you work. It really is about the quality of your work. There's a concept I teach at the Titan Summit called the 5 great hours. You only need to work 5 great hours every single day and do the right things in those 5 great hours to produce world-class work in those 5 great hours. You see, the billionaires and the elite performers and the superstars, they don't work longer. It's just the value that they bring to those few hours is so astonishingly great. And if you did that every day, even if you only worked 4 days a week, you'd get more done, and you'd produce more magic in 1 week than most people get done in a year. And the marketplace rewards your ability to distribute and deliver magic.